What up, slackers? Back with another video, something that's on my mind, just to be relevant with the times. There's so much going on, but this video is about law enforcement and perceptions of law enforcement. Back in 2008, I got out of work and I didn't know a whole lot about what was going on. You know, I was probably like, Neo in the Matrix. I was still asleep at that point. And I would come and go to work, and the only negative interactions I've ever had with law enforcement are whenever I've been pulled over because I was speeding. And, you know, of course, the experience is sour. But other than that, I earned that attention. The only other time I've had an experience with law enforcement, and it wasn't negative either, it was actually a positive experience. This is something that happened to me as a child. And maybe I'll go into the details and the particulars of this story later. But let's just say I could have been made a statistic, and it would have been very easy to do because basically, law enforcement, they have a duty and a responsibility. And you have bad cops out there, you have good cops out there. You want more good cops on the force than you do bad cops. Bad cops would be like somebody who joined law enforcement because they like hurting people, and that's a legal way to do it and get away with it. I mean, if you're smart, right? If I want to hurt people and I like, cracking skulls with billy clubs, hell yeah, I would join law enforcement because I have some, protection, some immunity there. Um, but when it comes to law enforcement, they have a job to do. And so there's a process that they're supposed to work through. We're not all educated on this process. There's a lot of miseducation out there. And in terms of miseducation, you could actually learn more on YouTube in a 3-month period than you would in 8 years of college. I'm serious, because you might think that, oh, college in this institution, this big building with these books and these programs and these courses, this structure that they have, you buy into that and you think that you're getting a better education than, most people. But the truth is, you can learn a lot more in a shorter period of time. You can learn about things that you haven't been taught. For instance, when I was out of work, I had time on my hands. I was beginning to see videos, of negative experiences with law enforcement, where cops were doing terrible shit, like kicking a pregnant woman or, pinning somebody down and, punching them in the ribs, all this kind of stuff, just abuses of power. And they shouldn't be abusing their power. They need training as well, on similar to like customer service, communication. I mean, if it's to protect and serve, that's what you do. You protect and you serve. You ask questions, you investigate. Um, Again, I don't know if they're, necessarily trained on it, or is there more training that they could receive? Sure, we all could. We all could. But again, I've had negative experiences with law enforcement, but I've also had a positive and transformative experience. And I'm putting it out there because right now, with everything that's going on, you have all these killings of unarmed black men, which I'm going to go into more of that stuff later. But when it comes to law enforcement out here, I know people are angry, they're mad, and it's funny because every time we have one of these flare-ups or whatnot, there's always NWA, fuck the police, playing in the background. If you really like study the media and watch their segments, see how they're layered, comb for details, you pick up on this kind of stuff, and it's just interesting that it's always the same pattern, this repetition, this reinforcement. Just like I said in a previous video, this whole face mask fashion trend is being reinforced out here, when you go to these businesses or even through your workplace. But yeah, I just wanted to put it out there, because not everybody has negative experiences with law enforcement. Can they be pricks? Yeah, sure. Can they be jerks? Oh yeah, definitely. But I would have to say maybe, try to balance your perspective on this and look at things from their perspective, step into their shoes, you know, because it's not like those cop shows that you see on TV, unfortunately. A ride along will teach you that, especially if that ride along is you being handcuffed in the back of the cop car. I don't know. I'm just throwing out there some ideas and past experiences. What are your thoughts on all this police brutality, law enforcement? Have you had mainly negative experiences, positive experiences? If you've had positive experiences, put that down below. People need to know, I think, in this time of ache and pain. But that's going to do it for this video. I'll catch you in the next one.